Yeah, excellent morning to each and every one of you. My name is Oladapo Onadipe, and today we are here on the spiritual side of success. This session is being recorded, so other people may be able to benefit afterwards. I'm a medical doctor. I'm an eye specialist. I'm also a digital entrepreneur, and every Friday by 8 a.m. West African time, I come to speak about the spiritual side of success. Today, we're going to look at something special, and I call it service to others leads to greatness. Let me just put that up. Service to others leads to greatness. Leads to greatness. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to be speaking about today. And that will be from the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 24, verse 10 to 21. Okay, so let's get started. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, for all his master's goods were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. And he made his camels kneel down outside the city by a well of water at evening time, the time when women go out to draw water. Then he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please give me success this day and show me kindness and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, here I stand by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now let it be that a young woman to whom I say, please let down your pitcher that I may drink. And she says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink. Let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened before he had finished speaking that behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, son of Micah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with a pitcher on her shoulder. Now the young woman was very beautiful to behold, a virgin. No man had known her. And she went down to the well, filled a pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her and said, please, let me drink a little water from your pitcher. She said, drink, my lord. Then she quickly let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking. Then she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, ran back to the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man wondered at her, remained silent, so as to know whether the Lord has made his journey prosperous or not. So there we can see Abraham, he wanted to have a wife for his son Isaac. And he asked his servant to go and do the job. He told his servant, don't go anywhere else. Go to my kindred, and there you should look for a wife for my son. And the servant knew that this was a very difficult task. And so he prayed to God and told God that let this be the sign that will confirm to me that this is the woman you have chosen for my master's son. And look at his prayer in verse 12. You know, we are talking about service to others leads to greatness. Look at his own prayer in verse 12. O Lord God of my master Abraham, please give me success this day and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, here I stand by the well of water, and the daughters of men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now let it be that the young woman to whom I say, please let down your pitcher that I may drink. And she says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink. Let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown kindness to your master. So that was his own prayer, that let the woman, you know, that I asked to give water, and she gives me water. But that's not all. Apart from giving me water, let her also volunteer to give water to my camels. Let me put this in perspective for you. You see, this man, you know, in verse 10, they said he left with 10 camels. And camels drink a lot of water. So it would have been much easier for this lady, Rebekah, to have given water only to the man, or to the man and his escorts. I mean, she's a lady. So she probably, like most people, she wants to do the thing that is most convenient. You see, a lot of people at work these days, they just want to do the minimum acceptable, the barest minimum. They want to come to work. They want to log in. If work starts at 8, they want to log in at maybe 5 minutes to 8. And if work closes at 5 p.m., they want to log out at 5 p.m. You know, if you call them, oh, can you assist with this or that? They tell you, I've closed for the day. With some people, oh, can you do this or that? They say it's not part of my work schedule, and so on and so forth. So a lot of people these days at work, they just want to do the barest minimum to get the maximum pay. And that's the way they have wired their life. And I'm telling you today that it is in your place of service that you are lifted up. It is in that place of you humbling yourself, of you willing to go beyond, you know, what duty calls, that can help you to go higher than you are presently. And so that was this young man's prayer. So the man had a way of, you know, discerning if God was in this mission. And there is something I wrote in my book, you know, a bit similar to this, but I won't go into that now. So, you know, now he met Rebekah. And look at what Rebekah, let me first of all, you know, give you the attributes of Rebekah. You see, you are first beautiful inside before you become beautiful outside. If you are only beautiful outside and you are not beautiful inside, eventually your beauty will be revealed. But look at Rebekah in verse 16. We learn a bit about her attributes. Now, the young woman was very beautiful to behold. So she was a beautiful woman. Everybody loves somebody that is beautiful. Is that all? No. A virgin. No man had known her. Most people also will want to marry a virgin. So she also had a good characteristic there. So she was both beautiful and a virgin. It showed that she had both, physical beauty, but it's not enough. The inner beauty is also important. And how do you know the inner beauty? Look at what she did in verse 17. It says, and the servant ran to meet her and said, please let me drink a little water from your pitcher. So she said, drink, my lord. Then she quickly let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, not he asked, she said, I will draw water for your camels also until they have finished drinking. Then she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, ran back to the well to draw water, and drew for all the camels. So you see, the man prayed that this is the kind of woman he wants. And the woman manifested. And the confirmation to him was not just that she gave him water, but that she also gave water to all the 10 camels. So as a woman, she was not so bothered. Oh, why should I stress myself? Why should I give water to all of them? I've given this stranger water. This stranger now has strength. He can fetch water for his camels, and so on and so forth. But she wasn't looking at doing the barest minimum. She went all out. She went out, of her way to help somebody in need. She went out of her way to help somebody who was in distress. These days, we see a lot of people, they're not ready to help. They're not ready to, lend a helping hand to somebody. At times, people are in a group and they are just in that group looking out for only their own interests. You ask questions on the group, they are not willing to make the sacrifice to answer the question. You ask questions on the group, they are not willing to provide the answer, even if they have the answer. They just walk away and say, oh, somebody else will attend to the person. No. You want to be great, learn to serve. Learn to use your time for others. Learn to use your talent for others. And also learn to use your treasure for others. It doesn't cost you a arm and a leg to do those things. But there are some of us that, we are programmed not to want to help. We just want, to look after our own interests. And that's all. Some of us have that selfish predisposition. Before I came here, I was on a group. And there are some people who don't contribute in the group. But when they have challenges, they try and whip up enough sentiment with members and see a way people can give them, be of help to them. But they're not contributing anything financially. They're not even, saying anything in the group. But when there are financial issues, then they want help. No, don't make yourself a parasite. Make yourself, a person of value. Make yourself somebody that has value in everything that you do. Look at this lady. She didn't do this because she was looking for a husband. No. And that's, that's what you see in some people who scheme. Somebody is looking for a husband, then she starts, doing a lot of makeup, Then she starts smiling at the young man. Then she starts doing things she doesn't normally do, just that she can get people's attention. You see some of them on social media, they just, putting their face on the phone and smiling and, dancing around and trying to mesmerize people. That's not how you attract the right kind of person. Stop dancing like a bee. No. Just live your life normally, but be ready to render, service. Be ready to render help. Be ready, to, help others. And so Rebekah wasn't looking for a husband, or at least she didn't do that because she was looking for a husband. After all, that was not who she married. But she did that because that is who she is. And she didn't need extra prompting to be able to do it. She did it because she had a good heart. And that good heart says that when you see a stranger and you can be of help, why don't you help the person? And so she went out of her way to help the stranger. She gave him water and gave his donkeys water. And because of this good gesture that she did, not from any ulterior motive, like I said, like most people would do, they have an ulterior motive. They are doing you good because they are expecting something in return. And some people, even before they do you good, they will tell you, you're going to pay for this service of mine. Don't do that. Freely you have received, freely give. There are a lot of things that, each of us can give without counting the costs. And, that is how we make the world a better place. If you read later, after that verse 21, you will now see how that good work that young lady did, Rebekah, eventually ensured that she got a good husband who was Isaac. And that good act, that singular good act she did, changed her destiny forever. Because she married Isaac and she gave birth, to children who were the sons of Isaac. And she became, the mother. By the time you trace the genealogy of Jesus, she was now in that lineage. Imagine if she didn't do what she did. Look at the greatness that came thousands of years after what she did. You talk of Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. And she, married Isaac and gave birth to Jacob. So you can see her lineage, and you can see that when the story of the patriarchs are spoken about, and then the list of their wives are given, Rebekah's name is found there because she gave birth to the twins, Esau and Jacob. And then Jacob eventually had the 12 sons that made up Israel. And so Rebekah did a good work, not bothering the costs of, giving water to that servant and his 10 camels, not bothering the stress. I mean, she could have used that time for anything else, but she was ready to serve. And she served, Abraham's servant. And because of that service to others leads to greatness. She eventually became a great woman. So today, each and every one of us is being encouraged that in life, we must be ready to serve. And like Jesus said, if you want to be great, you should serve others. I don't know in what field you are in, but you want to get to the top of your field. Can you serve others? Can you go beyond your line of duty? Can you be selfless in your service, not waiting to get something back before you are able to help others? Can you look out for the good of others? You know, spending your time to do that, spending your talent to do that, spending your treasure to do that. If you can, it's only a matter of time. The good work Rebekah did, she didn't know it will fetch her such greatness. But in a little while, it eventually elevated her. What good work are you doing? Or what good work are you going to get involved in? A lot of people are encouraged, especially when they're looking for work. Why don't you volunteer? And you some people, oh, I can't volunteer. My time is too busy. Oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. And eventually they stay stuck where they are. Some of them look for a job for years. They don't find the job. But some people, when they volunteer and people start looking at them, oh, this person is working for free and is really putting, his effort into it, then they begin to consider such a person. And if there is a vacancy in the place of work, they're likely to give it to the person just because the person volunteered. Can you volunteer today to help in some good cause? Volunteering, your money to transport yourself to the place. Volunteering your time, the time you will have used to do other things. You volunteer it to be able to help a good cause. Can you volunteer your skills, your talents? You have some skills you can use. Can you volunteer it? Can you spend time helping others to achieve their success, to achieve their greatness? Can you do that? If you can, then greatness is beckoning, at you. So you want to be great. You want to excel. You want to succeed. One of the great secrets is found in service. And when you serve others, greatness will eventually come your way. So I hope you're ready, and let's move together in order to achieve that level of greatness. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have for you today on the spiritual side of success. And let me summarize for those who, probably came in towards the end. We spoke about service to others lead to greatness. And that we took from Genesis 24, 10 to 21. And we used Rebekah as case study of how she served. And that eventually got her to marry Isaac. And she eventually became a woman in the lineage of the Messiah, Jesus Christ, when you are going through history. And that was what our service fetched her. And I challenge everyone to be ready to, render service, which will eventually bring greatness your way. Let me bring to your notice the book that I have written, Knock Down But Not Out. We're going to have a launch of this book in about 2 weeks' time. But for those of you who are my friends online, you can get a copy on Amazon. It's already available on Amazon, on Kindle, and on Stellar.com. You can get a copy and read about, a lot of things that I have shared there. And while I was also looking for a wife, I used one of these principles and I wrote it in that book. So you too can read and learn, a few things from it. So feel free to get the copy and read and be blessed. On Sunday, we'll have our opportunity call by 9 p.m. West African time, in case you want to be a digital entrepreneur and you don't know how to go about it. This recording will be on YouTube, and you can always have opportunity to go back and watch it. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.